Happy Monday, knitters. I'm Louise from Wildflower Wool, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you have all had a fantastic Monday. I'm filming this really late on Monday, so chances are you're not going to see this until Tuesday, but I hope you've had a great start to your week. I had a great knitting week last week. I really only focused on 2 projects, and then this weekend I did take a run up to the yarn room, found some new yarn for 2 new starts this week. So before I show you what my new starts are, let me show you what I finished last week. I always seem to start these episodes off with a dishcloth. And this was the dishcloth I finished. Which way did it go? Actually, I think I have it upside down. I can tell, the only reason I know that is because I can tell the 2 shades of orange are just a little different. I finished off some Handicrafter orange. This was the tangerine color. And then I finished off a ball of white Handicrafter, and then I added in the conch Knit Picks Dishy. I had a little bit of it left. Actually, I still have more of it left. I did not finish this ball. These 2 were finished, so I've got some ball bands into my finished ball box. So what do you think of this pattern? This was, I see I got a little bit of a shadow there, but I hope you can see. So it's a rib pattern. It's a variation of a knit 2 purl 2. I actually really like this. It gives good texture. It's got a nice lot of stretch. I think this would be like a great pattern really for anything. For a scarf, for a sweater. I like this, and it was simple. It was just 1 row. So the pattern stitch book that I found this in, they called it uneven rib, but I think I've also seen this done maybe as the mistake rib pattern. Anyways, it was really fun. It was fun. I liked it, and I don't know, what do you think about the top and bottom stripes on it? I kind of like it. I've never done one quite like this. So this is done, finished, on track still for my 1 dishcloth a week. The other thing, what did I guess I can't really say I've got a finished sock because I haven't Kitchener stitched it. But my flamingo sock, number one, sock number 1 is done down to the toe. There, so I did my decreases. I had left, I think I have 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, I've left 12 stitches on either side because I don't like a real pointy toe. I like it quite wide. So I've left 12 stitches that I just have to Kitchener stitch at some point this week. But I have sock 1 done, and then I can cast on sock 2, and I'll be on my way to a finished pair. The other thing, have you guys been doing Zoom calls or FaceTiming? I'm sure you have, right? With family, friends, knitting groups. This is what I got done. I think I got pretty much all of this done on 1 Zoom call with a bunch of knitters. My hitchhiker, of course. I have just been making slow and steady progress. I don't know, maybe I wouldn't even say slow progress, but fairly steady progress on this hitchhiker. And what did I get? So I moved my marker up last week after we all chatted, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more points done on this. And as you know, for you guys who are all knitting this, it's getting a little wider as we're going. So I think the last few weeks I've been managing to get, I don't know, 5 or 6 points done, 4, 5, 6 points, something like that. But anyways, look how long it's getting. Look, oh my gosh, there we go. There's the tip. So it is getting quite long, and the width, it's almost filling up my needle tip now. So I'm getting to the point where, yeah, I have to almost just be careful that I'm not losing stitches off the tips of my needles. So because the shawl's growing, you know what the opposite of that is? My ball is getting smaller. So look at that. So I still have, I know fingering weight yarn, this is going to still go for quite a bit, but I'm getting this done. So this will definitely be a finished project for April, which will be exciting. Get a finish, and I'll get my needles back. I'm starting to get a shortage of needles for all my new starts, so it'll be nice to get some of them worked through, get them finished, reclaim my needles for some more new starts. So those two I worked on quite a bit, but you know the thing I worked on the most, and I'm really excited to show you guys this, is my blue sweater. I worked quite a bit on this. I actually finished one whole ball. This was the marble yarn that I'm using. I've got one whole ball knit into this sweater, and I've started my second. Okay, look at this. I am ready to divide or do some armhole shaping. So I've got this knit in the round. I wanted to do this really, really simple. My idea was just to knit round, no shaping, just do the body, divide for the arms, knit the front, the back, pick up stitches for the sleeves and knit my sleeves down, easy peasy, bing, bang, boom, done, have a pullover sweater. Well, that was all good until as I was knitting round and round, I thought, maybe I need to add some shaping on the front, add some short rows for some bust shaping. So I did. so much for just a simple knit. I did a little bit of measuring. I did some math, figured out my row gauge, my stitch gauge, decided how many rows in I need to do the short rows. And I did about 10 rows, a short row shaping on the front. So we'll see. Now I have done a few more plain rounds, and I'm going to do one more measure before I actually do some. I'm going to divide it now and just keep working the front and the back, because I'm going to make this a drop sleeve. So I shouldn't really say I'm going to do shaping for the armholes, because I'm just going to use it or make this one as a drop sleeve. So I've worked up to where I want the armholes to start. I figured out the depth of my armhole from the top of my shoulder down to underneath and left about an inch for ease. I don't want too much. I don't want the armhole too big. And so now I'm just going to divide it and work the front back and forth and the back front and forth, back and forth. You know what I mean? The only concern I have is this, how it's ended up being striped. It really does have a striped pattern to it, doesn't it? Which I honestly, I could grab the ball. After all these years of seeing this sit on my shelf and seeing it in the ball, I can honestly say I never once actually thought that this would stripe. And I mean, I guess when you're seeing it in the ball, you've got light, you've dark, light, dark. But that thought never occurred to me. So when I cast this on in the round, I wasn't thinking about what the pattern would look like, how it would change from knitting in the round to when I just knit back and forth for the top part, because that's going to change my stripes a little bit, or at least technically it should, right? Because this dark blue stripe is nice and skinny because it's gone all the way around the 156 stitches I have on here. But now that same amount of yarn is going to just be worked on half the stitches, which is 78. Does that work? 8 and 8, yes it does. So this should theoretically be twice as high now. Anyways, we'll see what it looks like. Hopefully, I don't know, hopefully there's enough, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't look skinny stripes and wider stripes, like a real dividing line, but it could. I don't know, I'll figure that out or worry about that when it happens. Well, I think I'm just gonna carry on, but I've had fun knitting this. I've got lots done. This is ball number 2, and it still seems like a full ball, and I've got lots of this on my shelf. Remember I said how this was supposed to be yarn for my daughter's sweater, and then she didn't really like the color? Well, when I actually went up and I pulled this ball off the shelf and I could see how many other balls were back in there, I thought, oh my goodness, I might almost have enough for 2 sweaters. And the thought did occur to me is, oh my gosh, I can maybe make us matching sweaters. Anyway, I don't know, because maybe, I know doing the sleeves takes a lot more yarn. Sleeves always are bigger knit, like take longer knit than I always think, and they'll take almost a ball of yarn too. So I probably don't have enough of this for 2 full sweaters, but that would be funny if I could make us matching sweaters on it. So I'm just gonna keep playing on this. This is gonna be this week's project, to get the fronts done and just see how this coming weekend is a long weekend. So next Monday is a holiday for Easter. So I'll have an extra day off. So I'll be able to get a little bit more knitting done. So I'm excited to see how much more of this sweater I can get done. So that was really all that I worked on. My black boucle that I showed you last week, that I was going to start in just a simple rectangle sweater, I actually didn't even touch it. I know. I didn't. And see again, because I know myself, right? If I don't start it, I don't knit on it. And the reason it's still sitting in the skein is because I just never got around to getting my ball winder and my Swift out and getting it wound into a ball. So that I'm going to really try hard to get done this week, because I really do actually want to try knitting it and see if it's going to drive me crazy or not. Or hopefully I'm really, really going to like it. Okay, 2 new starts, 2 new balls that I found for this week. I found another ball of white dishcloth cotton. I actually had to do a bit of looking for dishcloth cotton, so I don't know if I should even say this, but I might be getting kind of close to the end of my cotton stash, you guys. I don't know. Is that possible? It seems really highly unlikely. I'm sure if I dig under some more project bags somewhere, I'll probably find some more. But anyways, I've got this nice big ball. This is going to do me a couple dishcloths. So what I've started, I went down to a 3.5 millimeter, which is what, a US 4. Because I knit loose, and I was worried that my dishcloths that I've been knitting the last few weeks, I've done them on a 4 millimeter. I was worried that they might be just a little bit loose. So I picked this stitch pattern for this week, and it is a garter stitch slip stitch. It's an 8-row repeat, and I've done 8 rows. Daisy, my kitty, is coming to visit. Anyways, so it started out, I've got 2 rows of garter stitch, and then there's 2 rows of a slip stitch, knit, slip kind of thing. And then you basically just offset those 4 rows again. So it is an 8-row repeat, but it's a set of 4 and 4 rows that are the same. You're just offsetting them. So we can't really see the stitch pattern yet. You can see there's some texture. I've just finished 2 knit rows again. So I don't know if this is going to be one of those patterns that is like super exciting, or it's just, it was okay. I don't know. I find you can't really tell with only 1 repeat. You can't really tell, but I'm liking it. I like the feel of it. I like the texture. So I'm going to keep going with that, and I'll show it to you next week. We'll see. I do really like this one though. I definitely have my favorite. There's really only been one, and that was that orange tangerine one. That was what was it, double knit, and it was just like a heel flap one. It was okay, but I don't know if I would knit it again. Daisy's here. Did you actually see her? Or did you just get to see her tail? I know, I think she likes to be part of these videos, but as soon as she hears me talking, she like perks right up and she like runs on over to say hi, I guess. Start number 2, everybody. These balls I have got. Oh, here's one with a tag. These balls of yarn, I don't have a whole lot of them. I think I only have 7 of these, and I bet you I've had this yarn for at least 10 years. With it, I remember one year I was all into buying some cotton. This is a blend of cotton and acrylic. I think it's about 50-50, or yeah, 55-45. And one year I thought I was going to knit myself, a whole summer wardrobe of some summer tops and tank tops. Yeah, I never got around to doing any of them. So I know I have 4 different lots of yarn anyways to do some summer tops. And this was one I just pulled out. The only problem is that the one problem of stashing yarn for so long is that I have gained significant amount of weight since then. So the amount of yarn that I would have bought to make myself a top then is not going to be quite what I need now. So I think I'm going to have to do I don't know. I've got 2 choices. I either knit this yarn up and gift it to somebody who it might fit, or I'm going to have to make this into something like a tank as opposed to a sweater. So obviously nothing with sleeves, a really, really skinny strap, and something that's got a low neckline, maybe a really deep armhole as well, something that I'm going to be able to stretch this yarn. Knit it at a looser gauge so I get a little more coverage. And then just something that I would wear and then just like put a tank under it and then throw this on over top probably is what I'm thinking to try. So this will really be interesting to see if I can make, I've got 7 balls of this, which only ends up being just about 700 meters of yarn. I don't know. So this is going to be a little bit of an adventure knitting. And I figure, you know what? Where's my, here it is. We'll see what happens. I'm going to knit it into something, and you know, maybe my new plan of doing all this walking, it will magically pay off. We'll see. Or it's got, it does have a lot of stretch. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to knit it and get the balls out of my stash. I'll wear it or I'll gift it to somebody who likes orange and green. Now that might be the bigger challenge, finding somebody who likes the colors. Anyways, this is the start of my gauge swatch. And I've done 2. This is probably what I'm going to have to go with. This is a 5mm needle. I went down to a 4 up here, but I think I'm going to if I'm going to try to literally stretch this yarn as much as I can, I'm going to have to go with the bigger gauge. So this, I think I did have a tank top pattern kind of picked out that I wanted to knit, but I don't think I'm going to have quite enough yarn to do it. So I think I'm going to just have to improvise this again. Find one of my summer tops that I like. I think I'll take the measurements of it and try to replicate it using this larger gauge. We'll see. Fingers crossed. So I can see where, I know, so now I'm going to try to get 2 sweaters knit, or work on 2 sweaters, plus everything else I've got on the needles. Anyways, I'm really putting big hopes that this is a long weekend, this coming weekend, and I'm going to get a lot more knitting time in and get some significant starts. Get my 1 dishcloth finished, my new textured, what did I call it? A garter slip stitch. So get that one finished. At least get this cast on. So my hope for next week is to maybe show you the tank top that I'm wanting, you know, that I'm going to base this on, and we'll kind of see how it goes. How, as I knit, and what it looks, my actual store-bought top is, and I don't know, we'll see. And I don't know what, worst case I run out of yarn and just rip it all out and put it back in my stash for now. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm going to try and get it knit up into something, and we'll just see how it goes. My blue top though, my blue sweater, I'm really excited for this. And I'm going to try trying it on too. But I know, I'm really happy. I'm really happy. I'm loving, one of my goals was, well, I guess my goals for the year were to work with stash yarn, which all of this is, knit a dishcloth a week, and always have a sweater on the needles. And so far, I have done that for the whole entire year. So I'm really feeling pretty proud of myself. I made my goals, and so far I've stuck to them. And hopefully I'm going to have something to wear. The weather forecast this week is talking about a little bit of snow. Hopefully it's not going to stick around. Maybe hopefully we'll just wake up to a light dusting on the ground and then it will melt. But that is giving me a little bit of hope that a pullover sweater I will still be able to wear before it gets too hot. So what have you guys cast on this week? What are your plans for knitting this week? I would love to know them, what you're working on, what you're almost finished, what you're starting, what you want to start. Do you guys have any brilliant ideas as I'm talking about this? Have you guys been saying, oh my gosh, Louise, I know exactly what you should do or what you should try? If you've got any suggestions for me, leave them down in the comments section, and I will chat to you in the comments. So until then, guys, I will see you next Monday. Have a fantastic week.